Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. By Robert Cialdini. The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini is a comprehensive examination of the techniques and strategies used by successful persuaders. It is a valuable resource for anyone looking to improve their ability to influence others in a positive way. The book is divided into 6 main sections, each of which explores a different aspect of persuasion. Section 1. Reciprocation. The first section of the book explores the principle of reciprocation, which is the idea that people feel obligated to repay a favor or a gift. This principle is used by successful persuaders to gain compliance from others. Reciprocation is a powerful psychological principle that has been observed in many different cultures and contexts. It is based on the idea that people have a natural tendency to want to return a favor or a gift when they receive one. The principle of reciprocation is not just a social norm, but it is deeply ingrained in human psychology. One of the most effective ways to use the principle of reciprocation in persuasion is to provide people with a small favor or gift before making a request. This could be as simple as offering a free sample of a product or service. The idea is that the recipient will feel indebted to the persuader and will be more likely to comply with their request in the future. The principle of reciprocation can also be used in more subtle ways. For example, when someone is given a compliment, they may feel obligated to return the favor by giving a compliment in return. This is why it is common for people to start conversations by offering a compliment or praise. The principle of reciprocation is closely related to social norms. Social norms are unwritten rules that govern behavior in a particular society or culture. These norms can be very powerful in shaping behavior because they are often based on deeply held values and beliefs. For example, in many cultures, it is considered polite to offer a gift or a favor when visiting someone's home. Successful persuaders understand the power of social norms and use them to their advantage. By framing their request in a way that is consistent with social norms, they can increase the likelihood that the recipient will comply with their request. For example, a charity might appeal to people's sense of social responsibility by emphasizing the importance of helping others. For example, a salesperson may offer a free sample of their product in the hope that the recipient will feel obligated to buy something in return. This section also examines the role of social norms in influencing behavior. Section 2. Commitment and Consistency. The second section of the book explores the principle of commitment and consistency. This principle states that people are more likely to stick to a decision once they have made it. Successful persuaders use this principle by getting people to make a small commitment and then gradually increasing the level of commitment over time. The principle of commitment and consistency is a powerful psychological principle that explains why people tend to stick to their decisions once they have made them. This principle is based on the idea that people have a natural desire to be consistent with their past behaviors and decisions. Successful persuaders use the principle of commitment and consistency to their advantage by getting people to make a small commitment, and then gradually increasing the level of commitment over time. This is often referred to as the foot in the door technique. For example, a charity may ask people to sign a petition before asking for a donation. By getting people to make a small commitment first, they are more likely to feel obligated to follow through with a larger commitment, such as making a donation. Another way to use the principle of commitment and consistency is to highlight a person's previous commitments and behaviors. For example, a salesperson may remind a customer of their previous purchases or loyalty to a particular brand, in order to encourage them to continue buying from that brand. This approach reinforces the customer's previous commitment and makes them more likely to remain consistent with their past behavior. Here are examples. Number 1. When people publicly commit to a belief or decision, they are more likely to stick to it, even if it goes against their own self-interest. For example, in one study, people who signed a petition supporting a controversial political issue were more likely to donate money to the cause later on. Number 2. The principle of commitment and consistency is often used in sales and marketing. Salespeople might ask a potential customer to make a small commitment, such as filling out a survey or trying a free sample, which increases the likelihood that the person will make a larger purchase later on. Number 3. The principle can also be seen in the way people approach their own behavior. If someone commits to a goal, like exercising more or eating healthier, they are more likely to stick to it if they publicly announce their intention or create a specific plan to achieve the goal. Number 4. Consistency is valued in many cultures, so people are often motivated to behave in ways that are consistent with their past actions or beliefs. For example, if someone is always identified as a supporter of a certain political party, they may be more likely to continue supporting that party, even if they disagree with some of their current policies. The principle of commitment and consistency is closely related to the idea of cognitive dissonance, which is the psychological discomfort that arises when a person's beliefs or behaviors are inconsistent with each other. People naturally seek to reduce cognitive dissonance by bringing their beliefs and behaviors into alignment with each other. This is why people are more likely to stick to a decision once they have made it, even if it is not in their best interest to do so. For example, a charity may ask people to sign a petition before asking for a donation. Section 3. Social proof. The third section of the book explores the principle of social proof. This principle states that people are more likely to do something if they see others doing it. Successful persuaders use this principle by highlighting the actions of others. For example, a restaurant may put a sign in the window that says most popular dishes to encourage people to order those items. The principle of social proof is a powerful psychological principle that explains why people are more likely to follow the behavior of others. This principle is based on the idea that people often look to others to guide their behavior, especially in situations where they are uncertain about what to do. Successful persuaders use the principle of social proof to their advantage by highlighting the actions of others. This can be done in a variety of ways, such as displaying positive reviews, showing statistics on the popularity of a product, or highlighting the actions of influential people. For example, a restaurant may put a sign in the window that says most popular dishes to encourage people to order those items. This approach suggests that others have already tried and enjoyed those dishes, making them a safe and popular choice. The principle of social proof is especially powerful when people are uncertain about what to do or are in a new or unfamiliar situation. In these situations, people are more likely to look to others for guidance and are more likely to follow the behavior of those around them. This is why peer pressure can be so effective in shaping behavior. Social proof can also be used to create a sense of urgency or scarcity. For example, a website may display a message that says only 3 tickets left, to encourage people to buy tickets quickly. This approach suggests that others are also interested in the tickets, and that they may sell out soon, creating a sense of urgency and encouraging people to act quickly. Section 4. Liking. The fourth section of the book explores the principle of liking. This principle states that people are more likely to be influenced by people they like. Successful persuaders use this principle by finding ways to be likable. For example, a salesperson may try to establish rapport with a potential customer by finding common ground. The principle of liking is a powerful psychological principle that explains why people are more likely to be influenced by people they like. This principle is based on the idea that people are more likely to comply with requests from people they perceive as likable or attractive. Successful persuaders use the principle of liking to their advantage by finding ways to be likable to the recipient. This can be done in a variety of ways, such as finding common ground, paying compliments, or using humor. For example, a salesperson may try to establish rapport with a potential customer by finding common ground, such as a shared interest in a particular hobby or activity. This approach can help to build trust and create a positive relationship between the salesperson and the customer. Another way to use the principle of liking is to highlight similarities between the persuader and the recipient. This approach can help to create a sense of camaraderie and can make the persuader more relatable to the recipient. For example, a politician may talk about their humble beginnings and their own struggles in order to connect with voters who may be facing similar challenges. The principle of liking is closely related to the idea of social attraction, which is the psychological process of developing positive feelings towards someone based on factors such as similarity, familiarity, and physical attractiveness. People are naturally drawn to those who they perceive as similar to themselves or attractive in some way, and are more likely to comply with requests from these individuals. Section 5. Authority. The fifth section of the book explores the principle of authority. This principle states that people are more likely to be influenced by people who are perceived as experts or authorities. Successful persuaders use this principle by highlighting their credentials or expertise. For example, a doctor may use their title to convince a patient to follow their advice. The principle of authority is a powerful psychological principle that explains why people are more likely to comply with requests from people who are perceived as experts or authorities. This principle is based on the idea that people are more likely to trust and respect individuals who have knowledge, expertise, or credentials in a particular field. Successful persuaders use the principle of authority to their advantage by establishing themselves as experts or authorities in their respective fields. This can be done in a variety of ways, such as highlighting their credentials, experience, or education. For example, a doctor may use their medical degree and professional experience to convince a patient to follow their advice regarding a particular treatment plan. In addition to highlighting their credentials, successful persuaders also use other cues of authority to establish their expertise. For example, they may dress in a particular way, use technical jargon or industry-specific terminology, or use props or visual aids that symbolize their authority. These cues can help to establish the persuader as an expert or authority figure in the eyes of the recipient. The principle of authority is closely related to the idea of social power, which is the ability to influence others based on factors such as status, prestige, and position in a particular social hierarchy. People are naturally drawn to those who they perceive as having social power, and are more likely to comply with requests from these individuals. Section 6. Scarcity. The final section of the book explores the principle of scarcity. This principle states that people are more likely to desire something if they believe it is scarce or limited in availability. Successful persuaders use this principle by creating a sense of urgency or exclusivity. For example, a store may advertise a limited-time sale to encourage people to buy now. The principle of scarcity is a powerful psychological principle that explains why people are more likely to value and desire something if they perceive it to be scarce or rare. This principle is based on the idea that when people believe something is limited in availability or difficult to obtain, they place a higher value on it. Successful persuaders use the principle of scarcity to their advantage by creating a sense of urgency or exclusivity around their product or service. For example, they may offer limited-time promotions or discounts, or use language that emphasizes the rarity or exclusivity of their product. One way to create a sense of scarcity is through the use of limited-time offers or promotions. By setting a deadline for a sale or promotion, the persuader creates a sense of urgency that motivates people to act quickly before the opportunity is gone. This technique is commonly used in marketing and advertising to encourage people to make a purchase. Another way to create a sense of scarcity is by limiting the availability of a product or service. For example, a company may produce a limited edition product, or only offer a certain number of seats for a workshop or event. By creating a sense of exclusivity and rarity, the persuader can increase the perceived value of their product or service. The principle of scarcity can also be used in reverse, by emphasizing the negative consequences of missing out on an opportunity. For example, a persuader may use language that suggests that failure to act now will result in missing out on a great opportunity, or experiencing regret later on. Conclusion. Influence. The Psychology of Persuasion is a valuable resource for anyone looking to improve their ability to influence others in a positive way. By examining the techniques and strategies used by successful persuaders, the book provides insight into the psychology of persuasion. Whether you are a salesperson, marketer, or simply someone who wants to be more persuasive, this book is a must-read.